Sunday the 24th. It is 9:17 a.m. Central Time, ready to go. It's only been like an hour and a half, time at the bottom, 10:30 or something. I was worried the mayo wouldn't last that long, so I want to eat the sardines now. And I guess I will start off with some results. It's like the windiest day of all time, but I'm going to try to film in between gusts of like 50-mile-an-hour wind. Didn't come close to 300 hours, failed that goal. 231 hours and 19 minutes. I will tell you why, maybe later this video, maybe next video. Part of it was me, of course. A lot of that is in my control. Didn't love how the World Series of Poker circuit affected things, but I'll get into that later. The money. I said it was abysmal. It was negative. I lost on this trip. Lost $237. Some of that in my control, a lot of that outside my control also. I'll get to that, I guess, now. And it wasn't bad. The first 3 days were kind of like what I expected. And after that, it was just like horrendous. Should have just had more hours. I was actually ahead of pace when the 4 days of that multiplier, the tier credit multiplier promo ended. I was ahead of pace to hit 300, and then it really fell off. For one, it was just having tons of losing sessions. I didn't feel like playing all day and all night, so my hours dropped because of that. But I didn't like how the World Series of Poker circuit affected things. With the tournaments in another room in another part of the casino, you really need to make an effort to go from there to the cash game room all in the back corner of the casino. And a lot of the people I didn't recognize, I guess the people coming just for the tournaments who would play cash games, I didn't like how it was affecting the mood. I don't know if other people cared in the least or maybe enjoyed it. A ton of them had backpacks and headphones and sunglasses, and that's fine. You're allowed to have those things. Herbs and Rye and Bill Tate have a backpack, but they don't look miserable, and they're always talking, and they make the mood of the table better. Everyone I didn't recognize who went to play cash games, who I imagine were in town for the tournament, always looked like they were in a constant rage. And when like a third of the table was people who you never saw before, who never spoke, who always looked incredibly mad, who always had backpacks, it just like made me not want to play like a 12-hour day. It made me want to hit like 5-6 hours and like leave as quickly as possible. I didn't enjoy it, so I was losing, that was part of it, but I also kind of played through some really annoying days before the circuit started, and I wasn't really willing to put in like 12-hour days in those conditions during the circuit stop. Alright, I am in Ogallala, Nebraska. I'm sure everybody knows where that is. So, I promised you all the beats. Yeah, there were a lot of them. I got, I'll start you off with this 2-day stretch. I had overpair versus overpair lose 3 times. I had overpair lose to flush. I had overpair lose to straight. I had 2 pair lose to straight. And I had flush lose to full house. The twist is that that was actually a pretty good 2-day stretch. I made $130 in that 2-day stretch. I wish every 2-day stretch was only that severe. I would have made a killing if that happened every 2 days. It was much, much worse than that. I had kings run into aces 4 times. I don't remember having aces versus kings once. I had flush versus full house 4 times. I don't remember having a full house versus a flush once. One of those times, I flopped a flush and a straight flush draw, and the guy on my left had a pair. Well, he turned trips and river to full house. I had, over the course of 2 days, I had 4 sets. They all lost. I had the biggest hand I played while I was out here. All in on the turn, 1 card to come. A woman hit a 2-outer. I had a guy went all in without looking at his cards. He had 7 high. I had king high. I hit a king and lost. Oh, and on the second to last day, I had a full house and lost the quads. But it was good. I got enough hours in, you know, especially during that promo period where I shot past Diamond, and I'm now well on my way to Diamond Plus. A lot of fun baseball conversations. Met my friends from law school. Met some locals who are pleasant. Went overboard with Casey's Pizza. Where am I right now? I am at Casey's. I don't know if you could tell. Is that the Casey's sign over there? I'm at a Casey's right now, not getting pizza. I ate way too much of it the past 40 days. So it was a lackluster trip in terms of hours and disappointing in terms of how much money I expected to make, but it was enjoyable in other aspects, and I am gonna leave Ogallala now. Pulled off on this scenic overlook. There's a lake, and actually the sun reflection is so bad I can't even see through the camera. I hope you guys have a good view. A lot of mountains off in the distance. I am very close to Frisco, Colorado, I think, which is also very close to Vail. I was waiting for the sign that said Vail. A while ago, a sign said 76 minutes from Vail, and I thought I drove for about that long, but never saw the sign that said like welcome to Vail or anything, but I think I'm here. People think you need to lose a lot to win a lot. There are definitely styles of play like that. I know Herbs and Rye plays a pretty volatile style. He has some large losing days, but he has huge winning days, and they're much more frequent than the losing days. You can do that, I just don't. So, I recently finished a stretch where I went 78 days without having a day of minus $300 or worse. Then I looked back to last year, and if you remember last year, there was a day in Council Bluffs, I was down 900 at one point, ended minus 648, but that was the day where I lost at least a buy-in. And then in mid-October, there was a 6-day stretch where I had 3 days in those 6, where each day was losing a buy-in or worse. So, from that day in Council Bluffs last summer to that stretch in October, I went about 125 days without having a day of minus a buy-in or worse. And then after that stretch in mid-October, when I started the 250 hours challenge, link to the playlist at the top of the screen. And from there to the end of the year, I didn't have a day where I lost a buy-in or worse. So that was about 55 days to end the year. So my last 3 stretches, 125 days, 55 days, 78 days. It's about 260 days across these 3 stretches, and here are the stats. Hours per day, 6.7. That's solid. I could be playing more, but that's solid. If you want to think about it in terms of a 30-day month, it's about 200 hours per month. Last year, starting in April, I played about 180 hours per month once I started the channel, so an average of 200 is solid. 6.7 hours per day is solid. And the money, if you remember when I hit 10,000 hours lifetime, link at the top, and I put up my stats. My lifetime hourly was $14.08, and during these 3 stretches, I had an hourly of $14.27. So higher than my lifetime hourly and more hours per day than I've been playing since I started the channel. So there's definitely a way to play low volatility poker that still results in large wins, frequent wins, and you make plenty of money. And instead of ending this video on the road, I will show you some of the peaks out in the distance. Tenderfoot Mountain, Torrey's Peak, Grays, Independence, Keystone, Swan, Mount G, Bald Mountain. Oh, the lake is called Lake Dillon. Ophir Mountain, and Frisco. I told you I was coming up on Frisco. Chief Mountain off to the right. So let me try to find Bald Mountain. It looks like the one just left of center of the lake. Okay, that would be my guess at Bald Mountain. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that one, that peak right in the middle. So there it is. I don't know if you could see the moon. I could see it not through the camera. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's faint, but I could see like 3/4 of the moon. And there you have it. Getting late. I'm in western Colorado. It's 7 something local time. I'm apparently 7 miles from Newcastle. There is proof Still not tired. I'm actually not too far from Vegas. I think it's only like 8.5 more hours of driving would get me to Vegas. I'm considering doing that. I would get in pretty close to like 3:15 a.m., play somewhere, and then probably sleep in my car for a few hours, because I probably can't check into Rio until like 11 a.m. at the earliest. But might stop, might sleep in my car. Don't know who wants to see that or who doesn't, and might make it to Vegas. I don't know yet. So I have right now about 4.5 hours until I get to Bally's, and I'm gonna see if they have a game going. Could give you the thrill of me going 60 to 80 on the interstate in the dark and finding my cigar in the back seat and lighting it. First, water into this cup from the gas station. You might be hearing it hit the bottom. Need a ghetto ashtray. Oh, the cigar is somewhere back here. Ah, oh, there it is. Cigar. I have to cut this. The cutter is in the glove compartment behind the camera. Hope I can pull this off. And if you must know, actually, there's not a lot of cars around. This is making it easier. I did this once in the dark, in traffic on the George Washington Bridge, which is a lot narrower than this. And it was a success. So, gotta cut it. I like to do an X cut. Cut it both ways. Cut it the way I cut it, and then cut it perpendicular. All right. Oh, and the time on the George Washington Bridge, I didn't have, I don't want that light on. You can just listen. I didn't have wooden matches. I'm only lighting cigars with wooden matches or a butane lighter, not paper matches, which is all I had. So I had to take the wood out of the glove compartment, these like very thin slivers of wood, use the paper match, light the paper match, light the wood, then use the wood to light the cigar. But right now I have wooden matches, so that's one easier step than on the George Washington Bridge anyway. I have about 2 hours and 43 minutes, GPS says, till I get to Bally's. So I'll see you next time. Those lights off in the distance, that's Vegas. I made it. I got about a half hour left. Looks a little prettier in person than through the camera, but you see those lights out of nowhere. That is Vegas. Alright, I am back. Made it to the Bally's parking garage. It is, I think, exactly 4 a.m. local time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know if there's a game. I feel like Bally's is usually dark around 4 a.m. I'm gonna go see. If not, might go to Harrah's, edit, might go to sleep in my car. So that's about it. And I'm gonna go see if there's a game going in Bally's right now. So I am back. The Omaha trip wasn't great in terms of hours and money. It was pretty good in terms of tier credits and the social aspect, so can't complain too much. And I'm gonna go play if there's a game going. And remember, rice is a spoon food.